We as a WM relap, we never used to wait for the client to give us a project. What we start used to start thinking as a thinker that as an architect, what should be a role as a social scientist is. So we used to, our whole team used to initiate the project on our own. So I think the global challenge was a platform in which when we got in touch with this NGO particular, they were like, okay, you can go for it. But when we put our project in your portal of global challenge, then this NGO and other NGO also start recognizing that, oh, this is something worth and which can be built because other countries are doing similar kind of project too, so it's more workable. Because in Pakistan it was, I think in other regions too, but in Pakistan is is quite is a like a quest to make our investors and client and any kind of people understand that importance of vernacular, sustainable, social implement projects. However, when we were even discussing in this global challenge session, we learned a lot from other groups, especially the group in Indonesia, that bamboo is a challenge, but is more recognizable there. But in Pakistan, is not that much recognizable. But because of this platform, the NGO and stakeholder can see and witness, yes, if it's implementing in other countries, so it's more workable. It can work in our region. So I think this platform is actually is like a kind of a guideline in which you can give your idea a certain level to make it more realistic, more workable, and make it more understandable. It's like kind of a checklist thing when you even put into that competition. Before we have a sketch, we have a design, but when we're filling in that checklist, we know that we have to do something, not just a design, but how to pitch your thing in terms of text and concept, how to pitch your thing in terms of realistic zone of fund for fundraising. I know because initially we were not even much clear about the global challenge, but then the thing is, because our funders, our NGOs thinking that global challenge will do the fundraising for them. But later on, they recognized, oh, this is the platform in which the different mentors from all over the country is making it legitimate that this project can work out. So then we told NGO, now you can go to different investors. Yes, this project is vetted by different mentors all over the world. That this is like is finalist and this is a good deal if it's built in Pakistan. So that's what I think the global challenge has created impact for us. Before we were talking about the school, they were not taking it that seriously, but after this challenge, they become very serious about it. And then later on, they even said, okay, we should make such kind of school in 8 places. But unfortunately, in August and July, the person who was a strategical planner, we mentioned in that in our description too, he left that NGO. He's working now in UK. So that was kind of a setback. But because of this platform is like kind of a published thing, we are pitching to other NGOs in the rural areas of Sindh if they want to do it. And at the moment, we are in conversation with two of the NGOs. One NGO is which we are interested in is a local NGO from that rural area, and he's having a really hard time to do something for his community. And he said, I can provide you the land for my community to build. And we found it very overwhelming there, and it's like kind of a big thing for us because the rural area NGO is actually looking into the children for all, for girls and boys, no
Women, children.
discrimination. And their approach was quite progressive approach, not because they have that ownership for their rural region. They don't want to go to city and they don't want to leave the country. They have the rootedness to that area. They want to develop something there, not for temporary. So they have given us the land that we can build in, but we are still struggling to get the investment, and we are thinking of different platform to how to get it. But at least there's a land for us to build there as a school. So he said, you can have that like 2 acre land from us as a goodwill if you want to do something like this, but we're still struggling to get the funding. uh, School was first designed initially in terms of a prototype school, the region where the flood has affected vastly. So the rural Sindh context is quite a similar, but obviously there's a certain difference in terms of climate. That some regions are totally flooded, some regions are partially flooded, some have some has a
Flash floods.
normal kind of a like a warm climate, not that hotter. But the school we designed for the Sindh rural area, Jacobad, was a very hot climate itself too. So, but this prototype can work in any rural area of Sindh. So, because it's as it is work for the extreme thing, this prototype was designed for the extreme cases like extreme hotness, extreme
Hard
flood,
conditions.
yeah, hard conditions. So, it can work in any other region.
Right after the floods, when we were became part of this organization, we had this MOU that we are going to do sustainable housing and all those things. And the partner we had, Mr. Faraz, and he understood this whole thing and he kept with us. And then later on, since we were with them, we started from the houses. We said, okay, we should go for health in schools. So he said, yeah, we should go for schools. So we had a very almost just as Wajiha said that we had very common understanding that yeah, that's why we named it as well because they had a very good they had I would say already established a lot of when it comes to education because they have their own from children to universities even to PhD levels, and they're winning they're going through places, their students are winning competitions everywhere. It was a very good organization, very well established in terms of education, so we thought they're going to own it in no time, and it's obvious that they're going to handle it. So but when he left this whole thing and even then he was the only one who was like facing in this because the organization works on the funds, right? And the funders who funding this whole flood houses, they were also having this pressure that you should use cement block or concrete blocks because it's safer and all that. But he was the only one who was saying, we should do that, but also you should go for sustainable solutions, your vernacular technologies. So the moment he backs off or he left the thing, that's how this organization kind of setback for us right now. Probably even he was struggling, and when we won this challenge, this becomes also a plus point for him to change the mindset of the organization. But later on, when he just somehow couldn't bear it, so probably that's why I kind of stopped. But it could have been a very better impacted, but either way, I mean, through this, like just said, okay, there's organization Women Children Welfare Association in Jacobad, not just Jacobad but a bit distance from Jacobad, and the other organization Babul Ilm, which is in run by London, but they are working in the other regions of Sindh. So I mean through this we are also connected to other NGOs, and they are very interested because all of them want to make schools or do something, or probably houses too. So I mean, it's either way, it's a both ways happening.
We consider ourselves not just an architect, we consider ourselves as an more than architect, as an academician. So we are like, we all are the faculty in university. And students, when students, young minds come up with some questions that what are you preaching and teaching, are you actually doing yourself? Obviously they're not saying that directly, but indirectly, because you are teaching to giving a theory lecture on sustainability, and then you have a whole practice behind for an academician of sorry to say unsustainable things. Like for example, you're teaching this whole site analysis context to the student, that where this building should be placed, but you in the commercial world, the just client say just build this building here, and this building will create more hazard for the city, but you're designing it more and more like putting sustainable material, doing it aesthetically, but the core rootness is vague of site analysis even itself. Creative studio was there, and we used to do some limited projects, but we used to be very considerate about it, doing a project in which client really want to do something as a change, and we used to do a low cost thing. And obviously our architect community used to say, oh, why are you doing such a low cost thing, and why are you doing it at such a low price and low budget thing? And our goal was Like why we are just serving as an architect to only certain group of people, like rich people, what about the other people who want to have the beautiful home, because we're thinking in the city at the moment. So why they can, why they should be even to afford architects too, why the only certain people are able to
About out of 100% of the architecture architects in Pakistan, only 98% of, around I guess 80% of the architects are designing for only 2% elite of the entire population of Pakistan.
Coming back to your question, our office is not a normal random office. I mean, Nafeel is here. We have one more member, Nehal, who's not here right now. Uh, all of us, none of us are boss.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm just by the name, just because of the name. I have this principal architect. I
because
am
of text, because we have to show
because
someone for
for the
text
tax and
section.
all that for paperwork. I mean, all of us are employees, all of us are bosses. We our office is an actual example of do it together, right? I mean, last year Nafeel was having a job in another office, but he used to come after his like 6 p.m., 7 p.m., and then we used to keep on working till night. Then he used to go. We have all our job in universities, and after universities, we come and then so this place right here, this is our home, and it's like a 24-hour thing because at time of crunch time we sleep, we don't sleep. I don't know what's happened. So it's just an amazing scenario. It's like an open house. Sometimes there are like 6 people are here in this room, 8 people are here, other guys going to the other room. Sometimes we're just two, 3 people. So I mean, it's an amazing. It's like one of the
Yeah,
idea of do it together. This is who we are. This is how we run.
there's a big public park which was getting into a vein. Now this investor is trying to build a small, though not in that much of sustainability. I'm going to very clear. He's trying to develop, relive that area. But when we give him this pitch, so plot was in between the Dino new theme of Dino Children Park. So we thought, okay, let's make like kind of a community space for them, like a amphitheater or a child play space, because after COVID, all over the world is kind of a trend of homeschooling and for the children, and those women's parents want the space to collect all the homeschool mothers and these kind of things. So we got, because we ourselves are doing homeschooling, so we are in those kind of club too. So we give them that discussion that, okay, can you do this? We pitched them that idea. He really appreciated that idea. It's like, oh, I can turn into, so because he's an investor. He's going to do the business out of it. So it's like, oh, this can happen. It can benefit the public too, and I can even earn from it. There's a space for them for an amphitheater. They can go for it. They can book. Yeah, they can book that space. It's a safe play for children. They can book for parties, because in Karachi there's no such kind of thing. The only safe space we have for children is mall. When we go to food court and mall, the children just go the mall, and the parks we have in a neighborhood is kind of abandoned. It's very rare so any park is maintained, and the maintenance, Sarah, it's just a proper swing and a slide. There's nothing more. There's like kind of a certain jogging track, only flat grass, like westernized fast glass, sorry to say, the back of colonialism which we is still bearing. And there's a three typical kind of swings. So there's no kind of fun play kind of a thing in which a child can trigger itself, in which the child can bond with the parents and grandparents. So we thought, okay, if we want to do even a business out of it, but at least people will be like, okay, we have something new in our city. So that we, even because we save that concrete structure, and then we are looking into a same material, bamboo, because we want to tell them that, oh, bamboo is not just a rural material. There's a new dialogue here in Pakistan. Oh, bamboo is a weak material, or bamboo is a rural material only for the poor. So we want to tell them the material has no biasness or racism. Material is a material. There's a big architects telling in the seminar of our region, oh, bamboo is for the poor. When I not say material is a material, you cannot do racism with the material. So this bamboo material can be used in a public bar too. He is liking this idea because we save the concrete columns and beam, and then we overlap the bamboo thing. The thing is, the Karachi is so itself is a very hospitable and diverse city. Because Karachi is like a kind of metropolitan city from all over the world is welcoming, from all over the city, from all the rural area,
Country.
countries even welcoming everyone here to do the businesses. It's like a kind of a port kind of thing. So itself is a very diverse. And whenever any disaster and anything happen, the whole community mobilize and helping those people. You have no idea this self that is, and when I'm talking 65% and in poverty itself, but still whenever there's a crux or crisis, everyone mobilize. Yet, and it's the whole global issue. Like 2% is powering the majority. You know that there's a global issue, but in simultaneously, there's a people who are on ground reality working. Like I don't know, you might know her or not, but our inspiration, one of our teacher too, and one of the architect called Architect Parveen Rahman, who used to work for the underprivileged community, with like Arif Hassan and Parveen Aman, but Parveen Aman is the main lead who was working into the underprivileged community. So see, these some people as an architect, as a socialist trigger you. There's one person in our student life, literally motivated us, called Ronald D'Souza, was working for public bar and which got getting grabbed by a different land mafia. So there are different social scientists trying to improve the city. We are just we call ourselves just a supporter. We are not actually the one who is fighting on the ground reality with the lawyer and policy. It's still not. We are just raising our voice and giving them a like of a support what they needed. If they need, like, we think Zara is the one who is actually working for the orphanage. She wants just a drawing. We just support her to give a pro bono design. That's what we can do it. So even we say NGOs are working on the ground and running those school. They just need this kind of a support. We said, okay, this is the drawing. We still say we are not doing much for our society. We are just kind of a little footstep, baby step. We have taken it to how to like
Start.
reevaluating ourselves, how to help us, how to uplift our community, how to and engage our community, ourselves too, even because we are seeing our children future too.